Yo, what's good, everybody? Gonna have the beers with Barton. It is Sunday Fun Day, June 21st, 2026. Everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Um, yeah, today is Father's Day. Was Father's Day because it's almost over. It's past 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so just want to do a quick video. My day was good. I got to spend it hanging out with some friends. My family had dinner with the in-laws, so Jess got to see her parents. So it was a good day. Michaela's at a sleepover now. She's had enough of the festivities, I'm sure. But yeah, honestly not really 100% sure what to say. In past years, Father's Day has never really been that big of a deal to me. I mean, very thankful to be a father. Love Michaela very much, but we don't really do holidays or this type of stuff in our house. We try to do the Mother's Day thing, and Michaela always does something for Father's Day. Whether it's a gift or, it's changed a lot over the past couple years as she's gotten older. But she did give me a great gift. She got me this really cool shirt that said "Bald and Amazing." Hold on one second. Should have done better. Even better, Bald and Majestic, which I am. She actually picked this out herself, found it on Amazon. They ordered it for me, so pretty cool. She also got me this amazing picture frame with probably one of my top 2 or 3 pictures. It's us in Bald Head this past actually Thanksgiving. It's freezing. We just came from a parade, and it's just her in like a onesie, like a reindeer onesie or something. And I'm all bundled up with my Christmas tie. It's just really cool. So I did have a good Father's Day. Got to spend it watching baseball. My buddy's son. So last tournament, we're #1 fans of their team. We've gone to a ton of their games. We've traveled with them. We're supposed to go to Cooperstown next month, but we couldn't because of schedule. And this was the last local tournament for them. They go to Cooperstown in 2 weeks, and then the team's kind of disbanding. They're moving up. They're getting older. No more 12U baseball. So it's kind of sad, but it was cool. They had won the championship, coming back, beating the #1 seed late. So it was really cool to be a part of. And like I said, we went and grabbed some lunch with some friends, came back home to hang out with Potter, got my gifts, got to watch the first half of the Tar Heels game, Men's College World Series, which they won, Game 2. So Game 3 for all the marbles is tomorrow night. And then went to the in-laws, had a fantastic Chinese dinner. So it was great Father's Day. Dropped Michaela off at a friend's house. She's having a sleepover, so it was all good. But honestly, man, I don't know. I think part of it for me is of late in September, so just a couple months, it'll be 14 years since my dad's been gone. And so Father's Days are just they're great. I really appreciate being able to hang out with my family, but it just really feels pretty empty. I almost wish there was no Father's Day, because it actually just makes me kind of sad. Kind of makes me just miss him even more, you know what I mean? And, Father's Day was never that big of a thing, I guess. Don't remember it a lot growing up, and, I've been living in North Carolina for 20 years. I called him on Father's Day, I'm sure, and, maybe sent him a gift or whatever it was. But, having this yearly reminder, it's something else. You got his something like Father's Day, and then his birthday is coming up in a couple months, and then his anniversary of not being here is the day after his birthday, actually, in September. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to, cast shadows on, the holiday or what I was able to, be thankful for with my family and obviously my daughter. But just feels kind of, empty, not being able to call him or not being able to, talk to him about Michaela or share with him, my journey as as a father. He passed away when Michaela was about 18 months old. So he met her a handful of times, which I'm thankful of, and I have the memory of, but she doesn't remember him at all, which is kind of crappy too, from my perspective. So anyways, good day. Hope everyone else had a good day. I know there's a lot of really good fathers out there. A lot of my friends, amazing fathers. And, they've gone through, their ups and downs. A lot of them have lost their fathers as well over the years. I guess we're getting to that age. I'll be 45 this year in a couple months. So it's not abnormal to not have your father at this age. Although he passed away when I was 30. So I feel like that was pretty early, in life. But like I said, it's not abnormal. We go through peaks and valleys in life, and, of late, had a lot of challenges. Being the father of a teenage daughter is not for the weak of heart. I will tell you that. And I'm not perfect at it. I make mistakes every day. I like to think I'm trying to do my best. And I fall short, I think we all do. But try to be the best person that I can, being the best father. And hopeful that Michaela will be able to see that as she gets older, and even now, which I'm hopeful she does. But, happy Father's Day. This one does feel a little empty for some reason. I can't remember how I felt the last couple of years, to be honest. The biggest thing to me was, for a very long time, when it came to my dad's, his birthday, September 2nd, and his passing anniversary, September 3rd. So it was like, man, I was just always sad around it. Like, oh, his birthday's here, sad. Anniversary here, sad. And then I got to a pretty good point where it was like, I could celebrate his birthday. Like, hey, I know what tomorrow brings. I'm gonna be good. I think I've been able to do that for a while. Father's Day, I don't really know. I don't have like a reference point of like, they've been bad or not. Maybe it's just a culmination of everything going on. The challenges, in life, maybe it just feels bigger today. But anyways, if you have your father, all the cliche stuff, all the obligatory, phone calls if they're not local, or if they are local, going to, whatever crappy lunch place or dinner place, or going to their house, or, buying them the Christmas tie that'll never wear, whatever it is, whatever traditions you may have or time. Yeah, it feels... it could feel like a little bit of a chore, for sure, because you probably have your own life going on, your own kids, got to get ready for work, got to do this. So I get it. I get it for sure. Life has to go on. But if your dad's here, I hope you spent time with him today, whether it's on the phone or in person. I hope you took the time to make him feel special, to thank him for what he did. If your dad's alive and you don't have a relationship with him, all I can encourage you, everyone's story is different, and I won't judge people or tell them what they should do just because their dad's alive. It's, don't remember the exact saying like everyone can be a dad, but it takes a real man to be a father. Maybe it's vice versa. But, you could be in a bad spot with your dad, not have a relationship, or they've done you wrong, or just not been there for you. Like, I get it. Like, not everyone gets a free pass. There's no doubt about that. But if you're in a position where you can, make amends, bury the hatchet, even talk to them one day, a year on Father's Day or their birthday or whatever, just, take the time, because I do feel, at times you may look back with regrets. Once they're gone, for good. And that's not easy to deal with. For some people, it may not affect them. I get that. I'm not judging anybody, but, it took me many, many years after my dad passed to not have regrets, not because we were on bad terms, but I don't really feel like I made the time to talk to him or call him like, I used to. I was living across the country. I was newly married out here in North Carolina, trying to make a life for myself and start a career and start a life with my wife. And then Michaela showed up a few years later, and all of a sudden, you're just in a tailspin. And then before I know it, he's gone. and I took the birthday cards for granted with a really, really sloppy handwriting that I could barely read, or the phone calls. I don't think there were many texts, but the phone calls, the voice messages, just the random letters in the mail, the cheesy stuff. But you realize that's the important stuff, and that's what you miss, and that's what really connects you. So, don't take it for granted. If you're in a position where your father's still alive, take advantage of it. You'll never regret it, in my own personal opinion. I think my biggest regret, there's nothing I can change because of timing, is just, him not getting to know Michaela and seeing me as a father. I still remember, like it was yesterday, the day she was born, February 10th, 2011, at 3:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe it's 3:31. I think it's 3:27. I always get that mixed up for whatever reason. I just remember, after she was born and all that good stuff, they take her away for all the tests. I just remember calling my dad and being like, she's here. Like, she's here. My dad. And I just remember my dad saying, like, what's she like? Or what is it like? How do you feel? Something like that. I just said, man, she's beautiful. Like, and she's here. I get to keep her. Like, it's crazy, And he said, of course she is. We had a couple-minute conversation. I don't remember all the specifics, but I do remember along the lines of him just saying, like, you're going to be great. You're going to be fine. Like, you are ready to be a dad. And at the time, you feel overwhelmed and, yeah, thank you, Dad. I love you. I can't wait for you to meet her and all that stuff. But I look back at that conversation now very fondly of, it was him just giving me the confidence and giving me the vindication, I guess, of just like, he knew I was ready, but I didn't realize at the time he had prepared me for that moment. He'd given me the tools, and he'd given me the confidence, and he'd given me the love that I needed, that I didn't even know I needed, to be a father, and what that meant, because he knew it times 5. Although very different circumstances, how he grew up and how we grew up to what, how Michaela and our family is. Nothing good, bad, or indifferent, just it's different circumstances. And Michaela's an only child. I was the 4th of 5 for him. But he knew I was ready. He knew I was going to be a good dad. And, almost 16 years later of being a father, believe me, I draw on his lessons way more than I ever have before. And I understand him way more than I ever have before, being a father and the challenges that it takes to, to be a father. So anyways, happy Father's Day. Hopefully most of you are not celebrating this with your father in heaven, because that stinks. It feels like a raw deal. I know it does to me. I know it lives forever. I get it. There's a reason for everything. God does have a plan, even if we don't understand it, even if we hate it. There's a method to the madness of what our human brains can comprehend. So anyways, happy Father's Day. Hope everyone had a good one. I did enjoy mine. I'm very thankful for my family, and for my daughter especially, who made me a father. She may drive me crazy, but she's an amazing young woman, and she's going to do great things. I know it. Maybe these next couple of years are going to kill me for sure, but it's all part of the maturation process. So that's it. Cheers. This one's for you, Dad. Usually I try to get, he had this drink. It was like a berry framboise or something, and it was like a cider, flavored cider from Belgium. And it shows me how much I've been aware, been able. I didn't even stop and try to find it. Didn't even cross my brain. Wish I would have done something. Maybe that'll be for your birthday or your anniversary coming up in a couple months. But thinking about you, Dad. I do miss you very, very much. I miss your voice. I'll be honest, at this point, almost 14 years later, I don't even really remember what your voice sounds like. I don't have an old voicemail or like a very vivid memory. I think that kind of sucks. I think I've seen movies or sayings or whatever where, when you forget the sound of their voice, that's when you really feel like they're gone. I kind of been feeling that pretty strongly of late. I just don't remember what his voice sounds like. It sucks. But, you know, such is life, right? That's where we're at. That's what we're doing. I still remember him very, very well, and I'm very thankful for him. And I know that I wouldn't be half the man that I am today if it was not for him. You know, it's easy in the time, to think your parents don't know anything or not understand what they're trying to do. My dad wasn't perfect. He had a hard upbringing, but I look back at it now and what he was able to accomplish and complete, and how he raised us, all of his kids, and the values that he instilled in us, just leave an impression on us. And I know I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. I'm very thankful for him. It's like I said at his, I don't like to call it a funeral, his remembrance of life is, I didn't choose him as a father. That's not how it works. God chooses that for you. But in every lifetime, for the rest of time, if I had a choice, I would choose him. I know that without a doubt, as cliche as that sounds, because I am who I am because of him. And even with all my shortcomings and my imperfections and things I wish I was better at, they all come from him. And I'm thankful for that. I'll always be thankful for that. Yeah, so cheers to the fathers out there. And hopefully a lot of you are able to still talk to your father and have a relationship with him, because it's very important. I wish I had one with mine. I wish he was still there, still here. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. 17 plus minutes later, could probably talk hours about that man, of the stories. I've got a lot of them. A lot of them have come flooding back of late. I will tell you that. The good and the bad, and the indifference. And then when I say bad, just me as a dumb teenager thinking it's bad, but him just trying to be the best dad that he could be, and try to teach me the ways. And not all parents are always right, and their vision doesn't work for every kid. I mean, there was 5 of us. We all live very different lives and have very different paths, but I think I can see a part of my dad and my mom, of course, in all of us. So, hopefully if parents are doing it right, the kids will see it later. So this is the only beer I really have in the fridge. I got some pool beers, but I grabbed some beers to watch the USA versus Australia World Cup game. A little low tops action. I don't know. It's probably not appropriate for my dad, because he wasn't really a beer drinker. He's a wine guy. And like I said, that Belgian, it was like a cider, flavored cider, Framboos, I think it was called. I don't really remember. I just remember taking shots of Jameson with my younger brother when I was back visiting. Yeah, because I've been in North Carolina since I was like 25. So I think it was one time I was back visiting, or right before I left. Pretty sure it's when I was back visiting, because my younger brother was drinking. And my dad wasn't a teetotaler for sure, but he grew up in a house that wasn't the greatest, and alcohol had a big play in that. So I think we stayed away from it. So I think my brother was over 21. It's probably back visiting. We took some shots of Jameson together, one of my favorites, but 6.5er. This one's for you, Pops. Low tops, high tops, whatever you want to call it. Again, just thank you for being my dad. Like I said, I know I didn't get to choose you as a dad, but I would. I know you didn't choose me as a child. That's kind of left up to God on how this works, but hopefully you choose me every chance you had. I think you would. I think you'd be proud. Anyways, cheers. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And if anyone has something weighing on their heart, an opportunity, a chance to kind of bury the hatchet with their dad. Believe me, it's worth it. I truly, truly, truly believe that if things are not too egregious. So cheers to you guys. This one's for you, Dad. I love you. I miss you. I wish you were here. But I'm thankful for the 30 years that I got with you on this earth. This one's for you. Maybe be proud of that. All right, that's it. Again, happy Father's Day. Pops, I love you. I miss you very, very much. But I hope you're smiling down. Think of you every day. I love you muchly. Until next time, deuces.